Bob Kerrigan for Kerrigan, Estess, Rankin, McLeod, and Thompson. In this brief video, we'll talk about what happens once your case settles. Well, let's back up a step before that. When you settle your case, the lawyer settles the case for you, it will be with your permission. In other words, a lawyer can't settle a case unless the client authorizes the lawyer to accept the settlement. Some people misunderstand the role of a lawyer and think, well, my lawyer is going to settle my case for me. That's true. The lawyer will, as a procedural matter, go through the steps to formalize the settlement, but you have to approve the settlement. The client has to approve the settlement. No case can be settled without the client's approval. But before the client approves the settlement, the client should ask the lawyer to see what we call a distribution sheet, and that is basically an analysis of the total amount of money received, amount that will be paid out to the client, to the person who has the claim. Any amounts paid to anybody else has to be disclosed on that sheet. The lawyer's fee has to be disclosed. All costs have to be disclosed. In other words, if a lawyer says, you should settle your case for $100,000, let's just use that hypothetically. What you need to know is, how much am I going to get out of the $100,000? And the lawyer's obligated to tell you that, so that you don't walk into the lawyer's office 2 weeks later when you think the case is settled, expect your check for X, and they present a distribution sheet to you that shows you're going to receive X minus $25,000. You have a right to know what you are going to net. That's true in mediation as well. We've talked about mediation in one of our other videos, so please consult that to understand more fully what mediation means. But in mediation, the lawyer, if you reach a settlement of mediation, should write out the amount that you are going to receive so that you don't agree to a settlement of mediation, which will be binding on you, only to find out later that you're not going to receive the amount that you thought you were going to receive. All of this is just good business practices, and it avoids a conflict with your lawyer, and it just makes it much easier for you that you will know precisely what you're going to receive at the conclusion of the case. Now, one of the options that you have in settling a case is to consider a structured settlement. Well, what do we mean when we say a structured settlement? It works like this. If your settlement net to you was $50,000, you might elect to have $20,000 of that placed in essentially an annuity that will pay you, say, $50 a month for the rest of your life. I'm just using those figures hypothetically. It would depend on the market rate of interest at the time and some other factors. But a structured settlement, if you agree at the time of the settlement, means that everything you receive over the life of the structured settlement, if it's your entire lifetime, will all be tax-free on a personal injury claim. This is really important because let's go back to the hypothetical. You settle a case for $50,000. Your share of it is $50,000. But then 2 weeks later say, you know, I think I'm going to go buy an annuity. So you take $20,000, you go buy an annuity. Then, well, if you do it that way, the interest that is earned by virtue of buying that annuity for $20,000 will be taxable to you. So it's very important to consider a structured settlement as part of your overall settlement. You don't have to do that, but a lawyer that does this work and is experienced and skilled in it will have a structured settlement expert that lawyer can discuss your settlement structure with, and it's a function of how old you are, what your life expectancy is, what your financial needs are, and that sort of thing. But a lawyer that's experienced in this field can give you some good advice that you can consider in terms of taking the lump sum of cash or having some put aside for the rainy day in the future. Where we have multi-million-dollar settlements, we strongly encourage clients to consider a portion, not all of it, but a portion of it as a structured settlement. So if everything just goes bad and whatever you invest in doesn't turn out so well, you'll have that steady income for the rest of your life. But it's totally up to the client. The lawyer cannot insist on it, but the lawyer should tell you about how a structured settlement may be appropriate in your case. We're happy to consult with you about any major injury or accidental death claim, any place that they occur, and we do so without charge and certainly without any obligation on your part whatsoever. For further information, check our website, which I suspect you're on right now because you're watching this video, Kerrigan.com, Kerrigan.com.